Happy Valentine's Day. And I'm very excited to present to you my pretty extensive list of flowers that I'll be growing in my little backyard vegetable garden this year. So I hope you join me. So in December and January, I'm usually more focused on what my vegetable garden is going to be for the coming year. But by Valentine's Day, I really need to put some more attention to which flowers I'm going to grow. So as I do every year, I'm going to present to you what I'm growing and how I'm growing it. I'm going to start with the seeds that I've sown inside the house already. That is hibiscus, red roselle. I was not going to grow it again this year because I've had a hard time doing that. But I said, well, let me get started early. So I actually sowed this the very beginning of the month. Anyway, they haven't come up yet. I have it on the heat mat. It's only supposed to be about 3 to 5 days till it germinates. So I don't know what's going on. I might try it again. And I found this pretty packet of blue pansies. Now, pansies are a cool weather lover, and I could sow these outside, but I decided to do it inside because last year I did winter sow them in my greenhouse, so they had a little bit of cover, but it was cold. And I found that they were very, very slow growing, and by the time they were ready to bloom, the summer heat had come in and it was a little too much for them. So anyway, I started them and they're coming up. I'll show you. Little babies, just little babies. So I don't think they've all germinated yet. So the following group of flowers, I'm actually going to winter sow in various different methods this year, and I'm going to be doing a video on that, so I hope you watch it when it comes out. But to start with, I'm going to winter sow some cosmos. I have various colors here, and my cosmos didn't really do too well last year, and I think it's because I tried to direct sow them. Sweet peas. And I have a few different colors of sweet peas too. And before I winter sow them, I'm going to soak them. So I have this pretty blue, a pretty orange color, and something a little bit more fuchsia red. So 2 years ago I did sweet peas. And they did very well, and they lasted for a long time. I did have to keep pruning them, deadheading them, but they did pretty well, and they lasted quite a while. Sweet alyssum, one of my favorites. This is not only really pretty, it's a creeper on the ground, and it acts as a kind of a living mulch. So it's great to place them near plants when you want to kind of have some weed control, and it doesn't interfere with the roots of that vegetable or other plants. So they're good companion plants, and plus they attract hoverflies and bees like crazy. And this year I'm trying blue bachelor buttons. I think they're also called cornflowers. They have a very pretty blue. I'll put it up for you to see. Poppies. So last year I planted poppies under the suggestion of somebody else at the garden club, which was what she always does is before what she figures is probably the last snowfall of the year, she just goes and scatters them where she wants them to be because poppies need that cold stratification time. They like the snow, then it warms up, and then it gets cold again, and that helps the germination of the poppy and many of these other flowers actually that I'm growing that I'll be winter sowing. The problem is that once I did that, every bird in the state flew in and ate all of my poppy seeds. I watched them do it. I was a little too late than I thought to start again, although I probably should have. Anyway, so I'm going to be doing poppies, and as an experiment, I'm also going to be sowing some supermarket poppies, the kind that you buy to bake with, and see if anything happens with them. I tried it last year, but again, the birds ate them. So then I've got two of my absolute favorites, zinnias. And in the past, I've saved zinnia seeds. I did not do that last year, and I didn't have any left, so I had to buy new ones. These are the cut and come again kind. They're different colors, and you just harvest them and bring them inside for pretty bouquets, and they bloom for quite a while when you do that. And some petite little marigolds. I did plant really big marigolds one year, and I felt that they just overwhelmed the vegetable beds. But these are called Sparky French Mix marigolds, so they are a miniature variety. So I'm looking forward to those. And then I might be sowing, if there's room, a little bit more feverfew. I sowed it last year, and they did very, very well, and I harvested the feverfew for medicinal purposes, and they have very pretty little flowers. So I'm going to try that again. One that I've never grown before is hollyhocks, and I understand that these also do very well with winter sowing. They like that cold stratification, so we're going to try that. And then chamomile, which I don't have many seeds left, but I have some, and they actually self-seed quite readily, so I might not need that many if more grows just on their own. And speaking of growing on their own, things that I'm not planting, but I'm hoping will come back, which I'm pretty sure they will, because they always do, is borage and calendula. If you saw my videos last summer, you know that calendula pretty much took over two of my garden beds. I didn't mind because I harvest a lot of it for medicinal purposes. Borage just continues from the very beginning of spring all the way through to the fall. So I always had borage growing. And in my medicinal herb bed, I have echinacea growing, which I also really like using medicinally. And it's very pretty flowers, the purple flowers. Anyway, my echinacea plants did not do well last year, and I tend to think it was because the rabbits ate them, but I'm going to try sowing a little bit more. I understand that they're difficult to sow. I've tried sowing them in the past. I ended up buying plants, so I might have to do that again. But I do want more echinacea in the backyard. And, oh, a nasturtium, also one of my favorites. Bees and butterflies and even hummingbirds absolutely love nasturtium, and it just makes a really pretty cascade over my raised beds. So I'm going to winter sow these. Although last year I just waited until after the last frost, and they came up fine. I think I just direct sowed these last year. So if I don't have room for winter sowing, I think I'll wait on these and just direct sow them when the time is right. And then my sunflowers. I need to get myself some Mexican sunflower seeds, because those do very well in this one spot that I like for them, and it really attracts those monarch butterflies and all other kinds of butterflies. But I do have some regular sunflower seeds. I'm actually not sure what variety these are. They were gifted to me, but I'm going to try them. At the garden club, I also got this orange tuberosa milkweed seeds, and I had already what this is. This is a common milkweed. It's like a pink color. And then I also have a blue milkweed. Now, milkweed is very important for especially the monarch butterflies' habitat. It's a place for the caterpillars to grow. Anyway, and they also attract a lot of other pollinators. But it's important, as we see the monarch butterfly population declining, to put in some of these that will benefit them and hopefully encourage them to reproduce. So speaking of the butterflies, I came across at Botanical Interests when I was ordering some vegetable seeds, these packets that they have of different mixtures of flowers for different types of things. And they even have shakers about this big, about this big maybe, but they were $30. So I decided let me try some packets, which were a lot less expensive. But this is an entire packet of seeds to attract butterflies. And as you can see on here, it's a very nice variety. You've got lupine, oh, Mexican sunflower, calendula, cosmos, balsam, borage, blazing star, purple coneflower, milkweed, black-eyed Susans. So it's a very nice mixture, and what you do is you just loosen the soil, loosen the top of the soil, and then shake this in where you want them, and then just lightly lay the soil back on top. And I'm going to try that for the butterflies. I know where I'm going to try this, in the bed that I have my spring bulbs planted. And then they have other ones too. And this was very interesting to me. I got a couple of packets. I have a long, very shaded area across my backyard. It pretty much gets almost no sun all year. You know, some a little bit dappled every now and then. But I got a couple of these packets, and they're all shade-loving plants. You've got coleus in here. You've got snapdragons, Johnny Jump Up, Sweet Williams, candy tuft, forget-me-nots. So I'm interested to see if any of these, when I scatter cast them to sow them, if they'll take in that area. If not, I'll buy some just flowers at the flower market, and you know, some of my standby begonias and impatiens, which I know love shade. And then this is a hummingbird mix. So I never saw a live hummingbird in my life until 2 summers ago. And they came for the nasturtium. But I said, well, let me give this one a shot too, and see if I can attract any hummingbirds to my backyard. So that will be nice. And this contains things like nasturtium, like I said, that they really like that. Lupine, hollyhock, zinnias, butterfly flower. So I figure I'll go ahead and I'll scatter these, and where there's holes, I can plug in some of these flowers that I'm sowing, winter sowing, or even direct. So that's the plan. That is my flower plan for 2025. It's a lot of flowers. It's more than I normally do. But as I get older and I'm getting a little bit more particular about the vegetables that I grow, and I'm not going crazy with a whole bunch of different types of vegetables that I don't know will work, or if I don't know I'll like, or that I've tried and I don't like. What I'd like to do is kind of fill in those areas with flowers. One of the most important things that I've come to realize as I've been vegetable gardening is how important it is to have a good variety of flowers in amongst those vegetables. And that's for many reasons. Number one, they'll bring those pollinators in. And as you know, as our bee population is declining, I want to attract as many of those good pollinators, those bees and hoverflies and that kind of thing, into my garden so that they will pollinate my vegetables and help my fruits grow. So that's a big reason. But also a lot of these are very good companion plants. For example, marigolds next to tomatoes. Marigolds have a scent that a lot of bad pests don't like. And so if you put them next to a tomato plant, for example, it can actually help that plant. There seems to be quite a bit of controversy around companion planting. I go for it because I think, to me, it makes sense that you have a nice culture of a mixture of things. I'd love to know what kind of flowers you're growing this year. Have you picked out which ones you'd like to sow? Are you buying them at the garden center and just sort of deciding there on the spot what you like and what you think is pretty? Are you winter sowing some? Anyway, I would love to know. So whatever you're doing as far as flowers are concerned, do me a favor and leave a comment below. And I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And I hope you subscribe and join our growing community. And just a reminder for those of you who have loved Lady in the past, she passed away about a month ago. And I'm going to show a clip of her at the very end of this, probably sometime last winter. So I hope you enjoy it and watch till the end. And from the Lady's Garden home, enjoy your gardening journey. Bye! Lady says happy Valentine's Day. Yes,